Well, hello, Benjies. It is Wednesday night, so you already know it is the BingeWorthy podcast. I am one of your co hosts. My name is Johnny Randolph, or you can call me Randy, and I am a speaker, trainer, and a podcaster. And I have three exceptional co hosts with me for this show. My first co host, this lady, over the 2 years that I've gotten to know her, she is a writer, she's an actress, she's just a flat out superstar. Say hello to the people, Miss Courtney Scott, right?
Hello, hello.
And this next guy, he's my boy. You know, he is a serial entrepreneur. He's a game designer. He's part owner of the Geekish Network. Say what's up to the people, Chuck.
What it do?
And tonight, you may have noticed that we have a special guest in house. Catherine, tell the people who you are and what you do, ma'am.
Hello, I'm Catherine. I'm an AR/VR designer here based in Memphis, Tennessee. Woo! Memphis, yeah.
Put Memphis on the map.
The
yeah,
Grizzlies.
yeah.
Go
Memphis
John
on the
Red.
map. I like that.
Put Memphis on the map.
What is it?
Put Memphis on the map.
Yeah,
And we are the Binge-Worthy Podcast. How's everybody doing tonight?
Doing great.
Doing awesome.
Good. Okay, well, if you've never seen us before, you would know. You might, well, if you've never seen us, then you wouldn't know anything. But if you've never seen us before, the premise of our show is that each week we will binge watch a television series. And then we come right here to the Binge-Worthy podcast to talk about that series. At the beginning of the show, we will rate the series based on our unique Binge-Worthy scale. Then we engage in conversation. We discuss plots, we discuss animation styles, action sequences, acting, the full gamut of that series. And at the end, we will re-rate it. Now, sometimes our co-hosts can influence us to change our original rating. Sometimes they can influence us to lift it up, and other times they encourage us to just throw it out with the trash, bring it down to the floor. Today, we are discussing Netflix's Intergalactic. The premise of the show is Jabari is a charming streetwear clad artist on the cusp of real success. After a chance run-in with his cool new photographer neighbor, Meadow, Jabari has to figure out whether he can make space for love in his life. Now, our unique binge-worthy scale is as follows. At a number 5, that is what we call a full binge out. That means that this property is outstanding. It is dynamic. It is one of those things that you cannot miss. At a number 4, we call it a full meal. A full meal, not quite a full binge out, but definitely worth your time to watch it. At a number 3 is what we call a mini meal. A mini meal is not bad. It's just not good either. It's kind of, it's just bland. Courtney always describes it as just a bland-ass TV dinner, and I say without any Lyris seasoning sprinkled in. At a number 2 is what we call a snack. A snack is something, you'll eat it, but it has no nutritional value. It's that project where, basketball season is over with and football season is over with, and there is nothing new on any of the streaming services, and you're just at home watching boring ass baseball. So that's what we call a snack. And a number 1 is what we call a cringe-worthy, which means that this is some old bullshit. And why the hell did I waste my time watching this? So today we're going to start off with me. I'm gonna rate Intergalactic first, and so I'm gonna jump in here to say that something that you guys may not know about me is that I actually love rom-coms. I really do. You've Got Mail, When Harry Met Sally, 10 Ways to Lose a Guy, Two Can Play That Game, How to Be a Player, and on and on and on. And with this, we have a rom-com. Now, the thing is, it is a animated rom-com starring black people. This is kind of uncharted territory. Something that we've never seen before, or at least that I can't recall ever seeing it. So we're charting a new adventure, and I am personally here for it. While the story is not completely original or new or anything, it does fall in line with traditional rom coms. Boy meets girl, boy falls in love with girl, boy kind of loses girl, boy wins girl's favor. So while I knew the destination where we were going with this, it did not bother me due to some great creative choices and a cast of characters that I really enjoyed spending time with. So for me, I am going to give Intergalactic a full binge out. I enjoyed it that much. I thought it was innovative, creative, great characters. And for black people, there wasn't a lot of trauma, right? It was my dad never was with my mom, so I never knew how to love a woman, and you taught me how to be that person. It wasn't that, right? So
Like Tyler Perry movies.
we seem to get those tropes a
Tyler
lot.
Perry movie.
So I loved it, and I'm going to give it a full binge out because another thing is, I hope that this allows creatives the autonomy to be creative going forward in the future. And we get similar creative projects. It doesn't have to be rom-coms, but similar, different creative projects in the future. So for me, I'm giving it a full binge out. I'm going to jump to you, Courtney. How did you feel about Intergalactic?
Like I said in Crosstalk, I thought it was visually beautiful and very creative. It did remind me a lot of it had from an aesthetic point of view, it reminded me a lot of Into the Spider-Verse. And just the way that it was crafted and the look of the characters. I did think that there was a lot more vibrancy. I thought there were a lot of creative liberties and cool things challenged and taken on in terms of depicting the way that their love was blooming. I thought that was very creative. I did think that the story was lacking a little bit. It was a little basic. It's hard for me because, like, as y'all know, we've talked in, I think it's Harley Quinn or other things. Animated like love stories are not my jam. It's just not for me. I don't need to see cartoons fucking. I just don't. I don't get into that. I like my cartoons to be like either action, emotionally investing, but there's just something that they're trying to like save the world essentially, or like comedic. My favorite people were the side characters, the friends. I thought there were some really fun characters and side points. It was okay. There was too much weed smoking and a little bit too much sex. It was just kind of like weird. I don't know, not weird, but like it was not my personal. I wasn't the audience, but I thought it was beautiful. So for me, because I wasn't as wowed by the whole the love story aspect, I'm gonna give it a full meal just because I thought it was creative and I really loved the journey and I did laugh. So yeah, I'm gonna give it a full meal.
All right, Catherine, we're going to jump over to you. How are you going to rate Intergalactic?
I agree with Courtney, and the story is pretty basic, but visually it's beautiful. And I also agree with the weed smoking thing. I'm like, I feel like this is like someone grabbed some cereal and like, I guess it's intergalactic cereal and just had a lot of fun with it. I mean, there's no problem with like, people smoke weed and do whatever, but I guess like, because I don't partake and I don't like do a lot of it. It's like there's a lot of this. Like every scene, every reference,
every scene.
I'm like, okay, I get it, but like it's a little too much. Like you don't have to do it in every frame of every sequence. But outside of that, visually beautiful. I'm glad Into the Spider-Verse has pushed so many other animated projects to try and do more I guess experimental animation, a bit more instead of like the similar Pixar style look and feel, it's a bit more expressive. This one's a bit more vibrant than Into the Spider-Verse, and in some instances there are frame rate differences. It's a bit choppier than like Into the Spider-Verse has more fluid animation throughout, and like there are like some stylistic differences between both Into the Spider-Verse and this, and I would say there's some style changes, but it's very similar to Into the Spider-Verse. But outside of that, like it's still great to see, and I'm glad like it focuses on African American love and like characters and whatnot. And just like the sequences that are happening. I just feel like it's kind of like a trip in a way. Like visually, it's kind of a trip. Story wise, I'm like, okay, I don't need to see this again, but I could probably pick apart some panels and look at it. But it's not a film I could see again. Sorry, I should probably put the rating. I just threw a lot. I guess what I'm gonna use biscuits instead because I've been on biscuit quest recently. So it's like a biscuit. It visually looks nice. It's fluffy, but it's missing ingredients. And I would say the ingredients that it's missing is like it needs a stronger story. But it is a visually beautiful biscuit.
I appreciate that analogy, but I'm gonna need a score.
Okay. I give it a 3.
You get a mini meal.
Mini meal.
A mini
Okay.
meal, yeah.
Right.
Like it's visually a binge out, but story wise a mini meal.
That's exactly how I feel, and I went up, but because I was afraid Randy and Chuck were gonna come for me. So
What?
When have you ever been
Do your
afraid
thing.
for
You do
gonna
whatever you
come
want
for
to do.
you?
but I went for full meal. But that is exactly how I feel. I'm in the biscuit level.
Yeah, biscuit,
So
pretty
you
biscuit.
Go
pulling
ahead.
yours down right now, Courtney?
No, I'm gonna keep it at a full meal for right now. But
Okay.
yeah, go
Chuck,
ahead, Chuck.
bring us on home. How are you gonna rate it?
This kind of remind me of Waking Life. So if you ever seen the animation Waking Life, it doesn't have the dream sequences of Waking Life, but it's a movie that was turned into animation, and it tells the story of a person. And I thought this is a love story, and I was excited when I saw it because young black love we don't see on television that often. You know, this was the closest thing we've had to brown sugar, love and basketball, love Jones in a long time. Me personally, I give it a full meal. The animation, it took me a while to get used to it. The choppy framework, I agree with you, Catherine. It's weird. It's off-putting.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first episode, the first chapter, which is an episode, is off-putting. I'm glad they made it into one solid movie and not 6 small episodes, 15-minute episodes. Thank God for that. But
Because you wouldn't have come back.
no, I would have watched it all, of course, but I just like the fluidity of it continuing, and I don't have to hit play, start again after every episode, and with some Kid Cudi singing it in the beginning of it, because that's what it probably would have happened. So I didn't need the intro song, and I'd like that's what
So you're
Mhm.
giving it a full meal?
I'm giving it a full meal.
Okay.
I did think the music was also a character. The music kind of saved it for me. It really I'm gonna stick it a full meal for right now, just because I thought the music was had a much stronger arc in the show than the characters did.
Okay. So that gives us a total score of a 4, which is a full meal. So that's our rating for right now. I'm gonna start with you, Courtney. This is an animated series, and as we've talked ad nauseum before, voice acting, it is a skill, and it is a skill that not every actor has. Just because you're an actor doesn't mean you can be a good voice actor. And in this, we had Kid Cudi, we had Jessica Williams, Tiana Taylor, Jaden Smith, Ty Dolla $ign as some of the characters. What did you think about the quality of the overall voice acting for Intergalactic?
Well, it's very interesting because I thought some were a lot more engaging than others. I won't say that Kid Cudi was on the level of Lakeith Stanfield and Yasuke, but he was real close for me. And it was the difference is that his character was basically who this person was. And so it did kind of fit although it was very boring for me. He was a very boring character to listen to, and it was hard for me. The same for the Meadow love interest, Jessica Williams. She was very like one note, like energetically. I loved Vanessa Hudgens. I think she was Karina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Vanessa
The
Hudgens
pregnant
was
girlfriend.
Karina.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, the pregnant girl. She was wonderful. I thought Timothy Chalamet, thought he did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
A couple of the side friends I thought were really fun. I don't know any of their names, but like the white guy who was a skateboarder who like popped his shoulder out, he was hilarious.
That was Macaulay
And
Culkin, right?
was it? That
Yeah, it
makes
was
sense.
Macaulay Culkin.
That
Yeah.
makes so much sense. He was funny, and there was the guy in the laundry room who had a similar style or similar tone of voice as Kid Cudi, but he was more animated, and so it engaged me. So his story about the Russian hacker in the laundry room, that shit was fantastic.
That was Ty Dolla
Ty Dolla
Sign. Yeah.
Sign.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was fantastic. And I just like, for the most part, since our two leads were just kind of on the same energetic level, it was really hard for me to connect to them because I didn't wake up. What are you doing? You know what I mean? So you put me to sleep. That's how I felt.
Okay. All right. So, Chuck, man, you know, you're animation king. Captain, I feel you were coming up pretty close. You were very in depth about animation too. So I'm interested. I'll start with you, Chuck, and then I'll go over to you, the Captain. How did you guys feel about the animation style? You all talked about it a little bit, but I'd like you to go in a little bit more detail of how you felt the animation style contribute to the property.
I like the art overall. The art style was really dope. It made me want to say it's like Spider-Verse, but the Spider-Verse was doing so many things at one time. I mean, it is a masterpiece.
Yeah.
It's a masterpiece.
What it has done in animation has never been done before. It wouldn't probably
And
never be
never
done again.
And
Never done
hopefully
again.
they can.
Hopefully,
They can match it, at least match it, if not
yeah,
go higher, but yeah.
yeah. If they go higher than that, I'm like, yo. I mean, but
I just bow
I understand it doesn't have the same budget. And Waking Life has smoother animation. Like this was like, it was like stop motion, but the stop motion was off beat. And I felt a certain type of way watching that, considering that this is a black property. And one thing that we understand is rhythm. And I wish it moved to the beat of his music. And don't get me wrong, Kid Cudi has one song. And he plays that song. He does that song every song, but we all love it, no matter what that one song is. You know, we all know his drone. We know what he sounds like. And I was hoping it would have that rhythm where I could feel it. Like every time a song come on, the animation caught up with the song. But I didn't feel that. I love the characters, and I thought it would have done them well to have them move at different frame rates.
Mm-hmm.
It would have done them very well to have them. Like Ty Dolla Sign character should have moved at a faster frame rate, especially he was telling the story of the Russian hacker, because that was such a great story.
It was such a great story.
And it was even he was like, she didn't live with you. She didn't live in your building.
She wasn't your neighbor. Yeah, like
you didn't even know her, right?
Yeah.
Oh, you right.
Yeah.
You right.
And then when he saw Meadow, he was like, yeah, you got to hook up your neighbor.
Oh yeah, she bad. You know what I mean? But it's like he would revive a scene.
He does revive a scene.
And you know, and honestly, there are certain actors that would raise their game. Like he raised Kid Cudi's game just in that one scene. His character Jabari was more interesting in that scene than a lot of the other scenes with Meadow. And the same, like Vanessa Hudgens raised Jessica Williams' game because it gave her a different dynamic to play off of. When they were in the scenes together, they were on the same mellow tip, and it was exhausting.
It kind of this show kind of reminds me of the HBO show Love Life. I don't know if you.
Yep.
And then when it got to the guy's point of view, it's just like, I don't know, but like it's like they dumbed everything down. I'm like, but why? And like this one.
That's how guys think. Catherine. It's bad.
See, I
It's
didn't
bad.
get that from either one of those characters. Jabari and Meadow, I thought they were great. I thought Jabari was accurate in the character that he was trying to play. He's kind of a laid back kind of guy. He's
Who smokes a lot of weed.
A lot of weed.
Who smokes a lot of weed.
But the whole crew smokes a lot of weed.
Yeah.
Not just
That's
him.
a problem. They're all functioning potheads, and I get it. I know it's a state of being. I know it's a state of being right now. Like there is a lot of, existential pot smoking and just finding life through smoke.
But it's not like they were
Intergalactic.
like they were junkies. Like I feel like they were completely functioning human beings.
No, I said I said a pothead. I didn't say a drug addict.
I know tons of potheads that are high functioning and they're high all the time. Yeah.
I know plenty of people that looked me in the face and said, like, work would be a lot easier if I was high right now.
Yes.
And I don't have a point of reference because that's not my life. I am perfectly capable of being idiotic, completely sober. I don't need chemical assistance to act a fool. I can act a fool for free.
But they weren't acting a fool.
But I disagree. There were moments of foolishness. You can't tell me that
when they're out at a party, they're acting a fool. But like through their daily life, there's no evidence that they were acting a fool.
The dude on the skateboard, he was acting a fool.
Yeah, but he wasn't a part of the normal crew.
I don't care.
He's a skateboarder that's out there wilding out. Yeah, he's jumping off of ramps. That weed don't make you do that. That dude is crazy. Listen, I'm going to go jump off a ramp, dislocate my arm, and have somebody put it back in.
That was some Bruce Willis nonsense.
Yeah, that's not a consequence of weed.
But it's not. But here's the thing: like every single time he would ride his bike and be off in his own little space adventure, his extragalactic, what I call extragalactic, not intergalactic, but extra. That was a factor, I feel, of his weed along the journey with him. Because I tell you right now, there is no way that I would have got on a back of a bike in vintage Valentino. You mean to tell me? Hell no.
That's what I thought was dope. It's like she even told him that. She was like, I came here in a Bentley and I'm leaving on a bike. I thought that was dope.
I do have questions about their apartment. Like they're both in creative fields, and I'm like, damn, these are nice.
These are nice apartments in New York City, right?
In the Brooklyn. Get the frack out of here. Are you kidding me?
I thought they were in Manhattan. She said you moved to Manhattan. He was like, yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, even still, that's worse. Okay, you're not helping them, Randy. You're not helping them. That's
like moving to Beverly Hills.
Basically,
I'm not saying that, but
it's like the New Girl apartments.
Right? The loft style, like the epic loft. Come on.
I thought that was reflective of his come up.
He works at a startup comic book store.
I got the interpretation
that
comic book store was the equivalent of Marvel. They just can't use the term Marvel in this show.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was. I thought it was like Marvel
I thought it was
too.
Marvel or DC.
Yeah,
you can't use the word.
No, it would
Marvel
be more. It would be more Image because Image Comics. Because
Image
if you
Comics
think about,
is owned by DC, right?
Yeah,
but it is an indie. But it's an indie based on the way old dude was telling him, like, oh, we like things to be softer and nicer, or that's more of an indie comic vibe than it was.
We knew that guy was whacked out.
Right, he was hating. I got the
that dude was hating.
The minority coming in, and he's hating. Like, you got to do this, bruh. And Jabari's like, nah, I don't think that's really why they bought me in here. And he stood his ground, and that's exactly what they wanted. And those were the interpretations that I got. I got the feeling that it was the equivalent of a Marvel DC, and they were paying him like out the wazoo. He was the new come up, hot, fresh thing. And the first big amount of money he took and got a Manhattan apartment.
I didn't read him as Brian Michael Bendis. I didn't read him. I've read it as like an indie house, a big indie house, but like an indie house. I didn't read it as Marvel.
Because when he was talking to the girlfriend, she was like,
Carmen,
you really working for Cosmic Comics?
Yeah,
like,
Cosmic Comics.
That's a come up.
Yeah.
I guess I read like just even the way the Cosmic Comics layout of building felt more indie instead of a large like comic
Yeah,
book company.
it didn't feel like a it didn't feel like a conglomerate of like Marvel or DC.
And
I'm
that's
just saying.
what,
I'm just saying
yeah,
that's how I felt. Like it's
Mhm.
definitely, and I don't know many unless you're Brian Michael Bendis and you got several books under your belt. There's no way that the deal you got
Uh,
is gonna get you that daggone apartment. I'm sorry.
I thought he was more like Shepard Fairey overall, because Mr. Rager was everywhere, and it was like a big graffiti thing, and so he
Yeah.
was the new Shepard Fairey. So he's the
Okay.
guy that did the Hope for Obama, and I figured he came up like that. He went into a comic book company with that image of Shepard Fairey. So that's what I thought
Okay.
he did his come up on. Was like he was that guy. He was like that street artist.
right, nigga.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
when he said like they're gonna try to get you to change it, and it was like you want to make you go mainstream because that's what Cosmic Comics is. So that's why I
Yeah.
make the interpretation that it was a big comic. It was a big
Yeah.
show. Maybe not Marvel, but it's like it's big. It's not like
But that,
some
yeah,
low-level indie.
that's why I said Image, because Image is still pretty big. I mean, they got The Walking Dead. They've had like several TV shows
Mhm.
right
Like,
now.
they're
So
owned by
of the
DC.
indie, but I'm just saying they're still Image. Like they may be owned by DC, but they still retain the name Image. It's
Mhm.
not like Image by DC, you know, like it's they still hold that little name.
Yeah.
Even if it's just like Disney and ABC, like they're still ABC even though they're owned by Disney.
Yeah. Yeah. But one thing that made me think it was big too, because Carmen perked up. She was like, "I'm ready to
Right,
come
like,
back."
She got
Let's-
on my last
She's like,
nerve.
"Let's sort this back out." Carmen
High
was like, "Yo,
maintenance.
you at Cosmic? Let's sort this out." Like,
I was so
you
mad
didn't
at
get it.
him. I was like, first of all, you don't see that? You don't
That
you
part
don't
reminded
see
me of Love
Richard?
Life. It was just like a lot of
Really?
dumb decisions. I'm
I
like,
guess I'm meeting this all wrong.
I'm like-
I had no problem with I had no problem with her at all. She
was-
saw him. She was like, "Hey, Jabari." He was probably not, living up to his full ambition. She was like, "Oh, you're in the Cosmic College." Because he called her. She didn't call him.
No, he did not. He did
He
not. He
called
was
her. He
riding
sent
on
her-
his bike at the
And she-
restaurant.
No,
Yeah, it's by the
she
restaurant.
No, right. She called out to him. They had a conversation. Like,
She
hey,
called
let's
out to him.
Let's celebrate. He was feeling lonely and vulnerable, so he DM'd her. She did not DM him first.
Yeah.
He DM'd her first. Was like, hey, let's go out and celebrate earlier than we thought. They go out and they turn up and they hook up. I didn't see anything.
Yeah. I didn't see anything wrong. It was him reached out
I'm
to
not saying there
her.
was anything wrong.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I
Mhm.
saw her for what she was, which was an
Mhm.
opportunist. And that bothered me, the way that she was represented as this kind of like, character that is like leeching on because now you got something. She was probably giving him shit for his Mr. Rager the whole time they were together, like, you need to get a real job.
yeah, she's
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, I
probably giving him all kinds of trash. Oh, Mr. Rager's gonna be a actual thing. Okay, great. So now we're gonna get together. We're gonna fuck. And now, hey, guess what? I told my mom she wants to talk to you here. Really, girl? Bye. He's a good
Yeah.
girl. I wouldn't have taken that phone.
Yeah.
I'd been like, you know what? My Uber's here.
I'd see him taking the phone. She was trying to get her due. She's like, "I made Mr. Rager. You were
Right.
able to
I
do
was
his
with you when
thing
you were
'cause
on the
of me."
couch not doing anything with Mr. Rager. Why wouldn't she?
Yeah, now she's
now
like, now
he's
you got
paying
your
off
Mr. Rager
benefits.
stuff
Why
together.
wouldn't she?
Yeah. She read his high maintenance too, just like the picture taking. I'm like, this is so weird.
She almost got him hit by a friggin' semi truck. That to me, that was like, I was like, I can't. I was so
Even
done.
changed.
I
She
was
said,
so
"I'm not
done
even
with
that
the
person
picture.
no more. I'm not even that person." Like, no, I
No.
changed my
She
wife.
didn't change though. She was still the exact same person I believe she was 6 months before when they broke up.
It's like that kind of like maybe I know
That's the
they're not-
reason they broke up.
Yeah. I know it's
Me
not
and
like
Randy, we read this all wrong.
Yeah, I don't agree with any of that. Like, I didn't see that her as that being that character at all. I thought she was just a
Am
woman.
I alone,
who-
Catherine? Am I
no,
alone?
like
I
I
thought
just,
she was
gave
a
me,
woman
like, bad
who
vibes.
She gave me
thought-
so bad juju. I was like,
he was
she
a
got
woman
voodoo
who
doll.
dated a guy who wasn't achieving his potential, and then she sees him. She obviously
That's
had
He
called an
finally started
opportunist.
making it. And she was
That's
like,
called an
because
opportunist.
she calls him over when he's still riding the bike. It's not like he was in a Maybach then. So she's like, oh, Jabari. She had feelings for him, but something just didn't
Yeah, she did
work
catch
out.
him on the
he's
bike, though.
riding a
Yeah.
bike in Manhattan. That's not indication that he's on the come up. Then he comes over to her
with
they have a
multiple bags
conversation.
of food. Well, where you going? Because you didn't
Right,
you don't
with
just
your
have a
friend.
McDonald's bag. You got actual takeout from Chinese.
It was Chinese. Oh, I didn't know it's Chinese. A come up.
He was
Yeah.
doing it.
I
It was
didn't-
out of the
I didn't-
container. No,
'cause
he
she even
had
said, like, you had a
multiple
lot of
bags.
food. Right. I don't.
That wasn't McDonald's. It wasn't Burger King value
When-
meal. That was several bags. I'm having a party. Where
When
you going?
I see somebody riding with a bike of food hanging on the handlebars, I don't think, oh, they done came
the
up.
messenger.
They doing it now. I'm like, oh, they might be an Uber driver out here on a bike in
Do
Manhattan.
you Uber on a bike?
So then people do Uber
Yeah,
on
but people
bicycles.
Uber on
I'll say this, like that first moment, sure, she's like, oh, like my, I guess X whatever things, but like when they had when they were together and they were talking and he said, oh, I'm doing this thing, that's when I'm like, okay, this lady is crazy. I don't know, just leeching on and weird love life, essentially love life, but not as like, so I guess with Maestros love life is like, it was just too much of like a polar opposite. This one at least tried to parallel everyone. But his mistake was like going with that chick. Like that was love life bad decisions.
And he made the decision, right? She didn't call him. He literally DM'd her.
Let's be honest, Randy. He DM'd her first.
Yeah.
She was going to call.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
going to call.
She's trying to get back
Yeah.
in there. Y'all think
She was
to get
trying
back
to.
in there?
Yeah.
She's the one who suggested that they do it in the first place, so he knew she was going to say yes.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't
That's true.
disagree
That's
with
true.
that, but that doesn't
Yeah.
like make you a bad
Because he
person.
wanted to hit it. He
Right,
knew
but
he could at that point.
doesn't make her necessarily a bad person.
She was Amber from Invincible.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Except for
She
they
was
made her a bad
Amber
character.
from Invincible.
wow.
When they did that flip, weird.
I didn't get that.
Right.
I didn't get that.
Oh God, I was so done. I was so done with her.
Yeah.
And then out of the blue, the whole like phone call thing, like when Meadow
To-
saw his phone light up, and then like she saw the messages of her. I was like, where? First of all, the editing on that. I get that you wanted to like backtrack and then show us like why that whole thing happened, but I was super confused. I was like, what? When did this happen? They literally just
Yes.
they just had
Yes.
all this kind of like sexy love time, and now all of a sudden he didn't. When did he have time to even meet up with this
Hey,
girl?
you
And
know,
why doesn't
Meadows
he
looking at
change
her
clothes?
photography.
Why doesn't he change clothes? Why does he own one sweatshirt?
But
Or talking about
I think
The
that's
closure
part of the
sweatshirt?
whole-
Yeah.
that's
Oh,
part
I
of
think it
the
was
whole
symbolic.
thing.
I thought that was from the first time they got together before he met that chick. Because like he's
And
like,
it-
oh, this
See,
Yeah.
I missed that entirely. I thought he had been there like last week.
it was like before he met her, but I still feel like he should have, the chick he was with saying like, oh, I don't know.
That was hard for him, and that was like really like you're not gonna ask a question. You're just gonna leave your phone. He's been with you the whole time.
Yeah.
Like legitimately with you the entire time. You're not gonna stay and ask a question. You're not gonna stay and have a fight. Like I need details. I need why she got your sweatshirt on that I've seen you wear. That's the reason that I thought it was recent.
But they weren't
because
quite
like
a
I've seen you
couple.
wear
Right.
that.
That's what I was with. Exactly what Chuck said. They weren't quite.
No, they weren't a couple. They were
They're
just
So you mean to
hooking
tell
up.
me that was only one time? They only had
No,
sex
no,
that
they
one time?
but they
hooking up
weren't a
regularly.
real couple. It's
They
like
weren't a real
we're
couple.
feeling each other, but we're not. Because he goes and that's what he tells Carmen. He was like, "Well, she's not my girl, but I do like her." And he didn't even finish the statement before Carmen realized, yeah, she got him. And she's really like, I'm not going to be in his life anymore. And she was in her feelings. And that's why the shirt says closure. And he walks out, goes down, and she's like, before you leave here, you'll be disconnected.
Before you leave the building, you'll be blocked.
So that was the way I interpreted it. They weren't necessarily together, but he wants to take the next step to be.
So you mean he
with
has
Meadow.
multiple closure t-shirts, sweatshirts?
No, he took that one. He took that with him.
He took one
He
over
took
and
that
left
with him. He
over
took
there
it
when
with
he went
him.
to the mouse.
When he went to the house
He
to get
left
rid
it.
of the mouse,
And
he
that's
left
when
it.
she
Yeah.
took the
Because he
picture.
took off he took off his sweatshirt to get the mouse. And he's like, oh,
Yeah,
no.
this
Wait,
is
no.
what I'm saying. I'm
Wait,
confused
the-
about the timeline.
The mouse thing happened after the phone call
It
thing.
happened after.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
After
saying.
Meadow.
When
yeah.
did he have time? when did he have
Man,
time?
weeks pass.
Yeah,
Week
they had
pass.
a
You
month or
know?
so
No,
had
wait.
passed.
Can y'all
Uh-huh,
stop?
uh-huh,
Let me get my point. Let me say
uh-huh,
my point.
uh-huh.
In terms of like the timeline, the thing that had his conversation with Carmen, like, you know, we're not together, but that's my girl. That happened after the mouse thing.
Mhm,
That happened after
mhm,
Carmen conversation. Oh, she's not my girl, but she's my girl.
Mhm.
That happened after Meadow saw the phone. So my
mhm.
point is that closure T-shirt that he had still been wearing. Like, when did he get
That
it
I still think that's
back?
from that first night they got together, and I guess the time didn't progress as far enough between him first getting together with that girl and
Meadow. Mhm.
yeah, sorry, I'm bad with names. Meadow and new chick or new hotness, I guess. Sorry. So I
That's
think
fair.
yeah, so that's what I read as because he's like, yeah, this is before like I slept with her before I met you or something like that. That happened somewhere along the timeline, but yeah, that closure shirt was before, and I guess
So she took a picture just to like fuck with him and send it later on and hoping to like break him up.
He didn't know he was with her, from
yeah,
my understanding.
She didn't know. She just
And so she sent a picture on some flirty shit. It's a double entendre. The shirt still fits and the penis still fits. Why don't you come
I
over
get
here
that
and
part,
get that?
but I'm just saying it doesn't hold true that he left the sweatshirt there on the night that they hooked up because he's been wearing that sweatshirt. He even gave that sweatshirt to Meadow. So if he, in order when they was running in the rain, so in order for it to hold true that he
he
left
went over
that
there. He went over
sweatshirt.
there after Meadow. After he
Yeah,
met
he went
Meadow.
after that after Meadow. I don't think there's a doubt.
Yeah, I think he went over there after he
Oh,
I
met
don't know the
Meadow.
exact period when he went over there,
Yeah,
but
he went over there after he
she
met
called
Yeah,
Meadow.
him up on
but
some
my point
homies.
is the editing made it weird in terms
Yeah.
of the
Yeah.
timeline.
Yeah,
Called
like
him
like
up.
he met Meadow. They went on a date when he had the shirt and gave it to Meadow that day. He took it back, washed it, went over to see Carmen because Carmen called him about a mouse. He went to go see her because they friends, and he left the sweatshirt that day. And she sat there and was flirting with him and sent it back to him.
Yeah.
Sent him a picture.
oh, that was so even though succinctly it was like oh my god, sorry, I just heard my brain. Even though succinctly all this seemed to happen, it imply that I'm just assuming he probably also has multiple, but it's also just
That's
not
all I
like
can
a-
go with. That he
Yeah.
has multiple of the same sweatshirt because he never wears any other shirt. Meadow changes clothes like 9 times. Like he doesn't wear any other shirt or any other pants except for the one time when they're out in the club
Or he's in pajamas.
or he's in pajamas
And
and
maybe
flip flops
I don't.
or
Yeah,
slides. He's in
I hadn't thought about
slides.
Maybe
Yeah,
Closure
he
may
may
be
have,
his own
right.
brand. Who knows?
Maybe.
They're selling it
Or
on Netflix.
one of his
so
homeboys' brands.
Oh, are
you know,
they?
Like
Yeah.
those are the people he hang
That
out
sounds
with. So he
that
always
sounds
rocks
about right.
Closure
What's that?
They're selling the closure sweatshirt on Netflix.
Are they?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Nice, smart. I may buy me one.
There's some merch. I got a Hellfire shirt from Netflix a while
So
ago.
did I.
Yeah. But I ordered a fanny pack and then they said, oh, we didn't have enough, so we're canceling the order. I'm like, no, got this cool shirt.
That's messed up.
Yeah, it's like if you guys should have just said don't charge me or anything, but I guess it was just some weird supply issue.
So we've talked about Carmen. We've talked about Jabari. Let's talk about Meadow. I'll start with you, Courtney. How'd you feel about Meadow as a character?
I really liked her design. I she was okay. Like I said, I mean, for me, it was I mean, I guess I don't really know a whole lot of Black women like that are very like that mellow, low key kind of like extra like commercialized Gen Z that you only see on TV. I don't really know those women in real life, so I believe they exist, but she was okay. She was just kind of like watching paint dry.
Okay.
She was kind of boring.
She just reminds me of like the actress that voices her was Jessica Williams and what she's been in like before. So
She was is she the one that was in that
Daily Show,
the
wasn't
Judge
it?
movie, the Judge TV show with the Black lady judge? Is that who Jessica Williams is?
Jessica Williams, she's been in a number of things. She had a
Yeah.
podcast,
And she was on the Daily Show at one
Daily
time. She was
Show,
on
yeah.
Girls, yeah.
Was she in Love Life? Sorry.
Mhm.
I
She
think
might have been.
She might be.
She may have been.
According to
think
this,
she-
she was in the Fantastic Beasts.
Oh yeah, I was
Yeah.
thinking of a completely different actress. I
Yeah,
did
she-
not know that's who she was. I had
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh,
she was in Love Life.
she's the love interest. That's why I'm like, this is like Love Life because it feels like a similar. Because
And she's
same,
actually in Love Life.
she's the same cool like black lady. Like
Oh,
everything that
she's
I've
the
seen her
she
in, she's
plays
the same thing,
she
yeah.
plays this non-Southern British woman in Secrets of Dumbledore.
mm-hmm.
The oddly Southern British American sorceress.
She has that
witch,
fictional
whatever.
accent. What is that? It was like a fictional accent in the 40s, like Midwestern, no, transatlantic accent. It's like a fake movie accent.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
She's on Two Dope Queens as well, so I know
Yeah.
that's where I recognize her from too. That's on HBO. It's like
That was also a
comedy,
podcast.
okay. All right. So let's talk about then the depiction of.
Well, nobody else said what they thought about. Maybe they liked her.
Yeah. Okay. So Catherine, how'd you feel about the character Meadow?
I mean, I think just school was cool, but I just kept on thinking of Love Life. Like you're the same person.
Okay. So is that more like the acting quality, or just this is a?
She might have just been typecast, but like, oh, well, you're this person in this. Let's have you do this here, and that's kind of what it felt like.
Mm.
It's like just copy paste here. I mean, I'm not saying she's a bad actress or anything. It's just like it just felt like they just bridged that over here.
The same character over.
Mhm.
Okay. What about you, Chuck? How'd you feel about?
I was okay with Meadow. It fit the character to me. Like that's what he was attracted to. Like they were very similar when he first met her. He was like, damn. And then the white dude was in there trying to put him out of the house. And he was like, man, that's one hating ass white dude. Yeah, all those aggressions, like, you a hating ass white dude.
Was that Charlemagne? Who's voicing the white guy?
Timothy Chalamet.
Yeah.
Oh, was he that guy?
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was the other friend.
I think he was her friend.
See.
Let me check. Let me check that.
He was Jimmy. No, he was one of his friends.
He was.
Yeah, he was not.
Reed. It's Christopher Abbott that played Reed. Christopher Abbott.
Okay, yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I was like, Timothy Chalamet was definitely one of the funny dudes.
Yeah.
He was the white dude who was the regular white dude in the crew.
Yeah.
The bald one.
The one
Yeah,
who likes the,
yeah.
who likes
Who
the
was
cat.
selling drugs?
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And
drug
he
dealer.
was gonna go to jail. He was like, "Weed is legal, man." He was like, "It's the plastics."
The plastics. I don't know what that's like referencing. I just
I
assumed
really
it was
don't
like-
either.
I
It
have
went
no idea
completely
what it
over
meant,
my
but
head.
it made me laugh.
I thought it
It
was
made me laugh.
condoms,
I thought
so-
his delivery was great,
right.
and it made me laugh. I didn't know what he was talking
Me
about,
either.
but I thought it was
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
I
He
concur
played the
with you,
exact
Courtney.
same,
Yeah,
right?
it was like-
He
it was
played the
like-
exact same character he did in Don't Look Up,
Yes, he
That's
did.
right.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
and he was my favorite part of Don't Look Up.
Yeah. Yeah, he did play the same character.
All right. So, do we like the way the love story was depicted in here between Jabari and Meadow? I'll start with you, Catherine. Do we like the way they showed the love story unfolding between Jabari and Meadow?
For most part, it was pretty like. It wasn't annoying in the point where I'm like screaming at the TV. Why are these people being like aggressive? But it was also it was kind of baseline. Like they could have. I don't know. It's very point on beat to beat by with every romance story. I guess I just didn't like the phone part where she saw his phone and just decided to walk out. Like that didn't feel like much of a conflict for them to take a break. It was just like I feel like they did that to find a reason for them to like have that couple downfall thing, and it wasn't really a strong
Lose
case.
this girl.
Yeah, it's just like we gotta have this reason. Here you go. All right, I'm gonna walk away, and it's just yeah.
What about you, Chuck? Did you like this depiction of love between?
I did.
two?
I'm glad I'm kind of glad they didn't get over dramatic with it, where he got caught cheating or something like that. They kept it where this is a text message came through. one girl thought that she had a chance to get back with, and the other girl didn't know who this girl was and happened to see the message and was like, you know what, we're not a couple really, so I'm gonna go back and do my own thing. And him being heartbroken, like, damn, I lost this new
Exactly. We're not a
girl.
couple, but I'm mad. I got my feelings hurt, so I'm leaving. But we're not a couple.
Yeah, that happens.
I think that's completely
that
valid.
that
I'm not saying
actually
it doesn't
does
happen. I'm just saying it's
Mhm.
stupid.
I guess
It's
like
still stupid.
I guess it's not so much that I wanted them to fight like crazy, but it's just weird how that was like it didn't feel like a real, it's a conflict, but it just felt like it was there
Forced.
to forced. Yeah, it was just like, okay, we
Mhm.
have to put this here out of nowhere. So
Yeah.
For me,
It did come out of the blue that he go over to Carmen's place and try to kill the rat, and was like, nah, you go find somebody to do this for you.
the rat scene for me was really funny because I lived in New York and I didn't have a rat, but I had a very large cockroach that was in my bathtub that was legitimately the length of my entire thumb,
man,
from here to here.
I had that in Savannah.
Right. And so like I went down the hall and got a neighbor dude. I went down the hall. I was like, "Can you help me?" He's like, "Oh man, I don't do roaches. I can't help you." And I was like, "You're a dude. You're a dude. You're not gonna help."
do roaches.
It was two cute girls. You're not gonna help us?
Wait, was this a flying roach? Were these the flying roaches? Yeah.
Yeah,
That was what was funny
And he
to me
ran.
because
He ran, just
Jabari
like
came
Jabari.
in there with swagger, like, yeah, I'm on. You first of all, you don't even have a rat. If you have a rat, I'm gonna take care of it. And this is a guy who's lived in New York City, I'm assuming, for a long time, so it's not his first time seeing a rat. So he's pump faking. And then when he sees the rat, because he doesn't think she's going to have one, he freaks out worse than she does and runs out of the room.
Like, I'm
and
done.
Starts screaming. And
And
she's
that-
like, what am I going to do? He's like, shit, I don't know. Call an exterminator. I
But
thought that was
that's
hilarious.
Because that was legit, because that is what happened to me. The dude that I'm telling you the story about with the roach when I lived in New York, like 15 years ago, he has been in New York his entire life, and he knew he didn't do a certain insect. He said, "I don't do them flying ones." And when he saw it, he took the broom and he beat it and broke my broom. He beat it so hard. Like,
Did it die? Did it die?
did. It did. So did my
Okay.
broom. But so we didn't care because it was like the broom was going anyway because it touched the roach. So do you know what I mean? Like, my point.
Oh, that's
is,
hilarious.
The only thing I was going to
That's
say, we've got
hilarious.
one of the great things about our show is that we go live. We have somebody in the chat. Toon Girl, she says, also, why couldn't they talk about it? I'm assuming she's referring to the text message. And then we've got them NYC rats. You could do a call to a friend. So I will get that. But I guess I just feel like
I agree with you on the phone call. I agree with you. Like,
I just felt like maybe she didn't. Okay, so you're knocked out, you're asleep. His phone goes off. You look at it, you see it. And then it's like, are we in a spot where I bring this to his attention? Or is it just something that I'm just dealing with
skate
in my
away.
feelings, right? So it's like she's in a space, and she could have went either way. It's no doubt she could have went either way. She just chose not to do that. And I like it because a lot of times in entertainment, we see the black girl being super aggressive, head rolling, finger snapping, in your face. Why did you do this? And she chose a very different path. And I didn't have a problem with that at all.
the problem for me is that she didn't choose a different path. There are one of two paths that writers have Black women choose. One is that she's neck rolling and fighting and screaming. Two, she's just throwing her hands up and walking away. I don't want anything to do with you. I'm protecting myself. Like, those are the two options that they give Black women, as opposed to, if I don't need to have like Catherine said, I didn't need them to have a big fight, but I needed her to fight for him and their potential relationship they were building. So, okay, we need to have a conversation.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
We need
to
to
me
have a
falls in the
conversation.
same
I need
line
to.
with the neck rolling.
Even if it,
No, it's
even if-
not.
Because the
It's
guy,
not.
when I see that, I see
Right,
here she
can I
go
finish
again.
my statement?
You can finish your
Can I finish? Like, I'm just
Go
saying,
finish,
like what I'm saying is, we need to have a conversation. I just crossed my arms because I was cold. I'm talking about, like, we need to have a conversation in terms with, like, this is what I saw. What are we doing? Because I was hoping that we were moving in this way. Are we not? And I understand, like, oh, we don't have drama, we don't have conflict or what have you, but there is there is enough to be said in a conversation, and then there's more drama down the way because you could have got more real estate out of Carmen and her shenanigans. Do you know what I'm saying? As opposed to just accepting, well, he gonna, I'm a block, you gonna be blocked before you leave. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just thought that it was cliche. And the fact that she took the time to make her side of the bed, that was so fucking petty. It was real petty. It was, you definitely have feelings. You definitely have feelings in that.
Yeah, she had feelings. I don't think that's up for doubt. But like, I don't know. That's cool. That's cool. I just think that she was in that relationship with them, and they weren't in a relationship, but she wanted to be.
But she never said that. That's
right.
The thing.
So you don't know what to do. Like, so do I confront them? Do I not say anything? Do I bring it up? I don't know. I'm just gonna leave and make up the bed, like, because it's completely illogical. It is completely illogical to make up a bed with somebody in it. So to me, that reflected like her frustration with the decision that she had in front of her.
But she took herself out of the equation, i.e., she gave up. But here's the thing: she gave up her power in what do you want from this situation? What do you want? It's not like, I see him with this chick. We weren't really together anyway. Okay, well, you know what? I want us to be together. So I want to see her, this woman who has been presented as incredibly powerful, super dope, really smart and intelligent and sexy and in her own power, and just gave up all her power. Like, I'm in my feelings and I'm leaving.
But people do that when they
People do that, but this is
very powerful people that are bad at relationships.
You can represent a different story, is my point.
I just think the conflict should have been like, I just think it was a weak, like, conflict aside, just a weak forced thing. That's my main issue. Don't do this, like, do find a better conflict.
Yeah, Toon Girl says it really makes your point, you and Captain's point heard. I agree, the most petty. It draws on the fact that writers don't give Black women the space to be logical and fight in a healthy way.
Mm-hmm.
That part.
But lots of people don't fight in logical and healthy ways in relationships.
But a lot of them do.
Yeah, they should.
They don't. No, but
they do. They are there.
No,
they
do, and then there are a lot of people who don't fight in logical ways when they are in relationships, who in every other facet of their life are logical. We see it all the time in real life. And to pretend like, we don't, it's not true. I know a lot of smart people that get in relationships and lose their damn mind. That is women and men. And I thought she just made a decision, was like, you know what? I don't know how I'm feeling. I need to get out of here as quickly as possible.
It is the way Black women are represented in every single show. That is my problem with it. It's cliche, and it is every time that is how we're represented. So I take it personally when you continue, you perpetuate the problem, or you perpetuate this stereotype, and that's my problem. Like, it's different for y'all because y'all are Black men, so you were presented in different. You have finally started to break through that ceiling. But you have You have made strides in ways that Black women are still trying to make.
Where?
In a lot of the fact that y'all are even in show like Scandal, even the fact that you got the Duke in the Bridgerton.
Scandal and in Bridgerton.
They are in different positions and characters of the way that they are written and portrayed. I'm not talking, there are several different Black male characters throughout television that are represented in characters and in roles that they're normally reserved for white people, that are white men. Black women, with the exception of Kerry Washington and Viola Davis, because of Shonda Rhimes, like, a lot of Black women playing the same role. Even this new Hulu series where you got the Black lady lawyer who's doing her like sexy, like, I'm gonna like save the world.
Wait, what show is this?
It's on Hulu. I don't even know what it's
with all women writers.
The fact that the title is Insecure is her arc. Her arc is the entire series. It's like where she starts and where she goes from, and that's one series. That's one series, but it's written by Black. That one, I never watched Harlem.
I need to finish.
Insecure is written by women. It's written by women, and there are shows.
Okay, I never. Insecure didn't. connect to me. It didn't resonate. I never finished it because it didn't connect to me.
I
All
also
right,
didn't finish it.
we're not even talking about that. We're talking about, so let's wrap this up because we're going around in circles. Let's give it let's re-rate this. So Chuck, you started off last. How do you want to re-rate
I'm still gonna get a full meal. I'm hoping for a
Well-
second season to see where it goes. Because I enjoyed the Black Love story. It was very basic, but what do I expect out of Kenny and Barris and out of Kid Cudi to write a really strong series? People understand the story was by Kid Cudi. I mean, he's given us 6 studio albums, all the same song. Across his studio albums.
Yeah.
He's done 12 to 18 songs per album. They all been the same song. So I can't expect deepness out of him, but I was excited about seeing Black Love. I agree with you all, Courtney and Catherine, what y'all said about Meta, how she could have handled seeing the phone text. They could have showed that version instead of her being like, you know what, I'm just gonna walk away. But she made the bed on him, and I rode. I was listening to him. We rode on the ground like, damn, dog, you fucked up. She made the bed with you in it. Damn.
That line being said by him was funnier than the
It
actual
was.
moment. Like him saying it, you know how hard it is for somebody to make the bed with you in it?
Yeah.
That line was really funny.
Yeah.
Action in and of itself was really fucking petty, but his delivery was perfect.
Toon Girl said Kid Cudi made the album, then wrote the TV show. That's probably how he did it.
I think that was probably what happened. Was like, you know what? He was getting high, right? And he was like, this would be a dope movie.
Animated cartoon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hire Kenya Barris. Kenya, let's do this show.
Yeah,
Kenya's like, whatever. I'm not doing Black AF no more or Blackish. So let's go on and do this.
Cool. So, Captain, how are you going to re-rate Intergalactic?
Same, like a what is it?
Mini meal?
A mini meal, a pretty biscuit with it needs more flavor. But I do like I'm hoping to see more, at least stateside, like American animation have this problem of like not enough everyone here sees animation as for kids, and it's not. So it's an art form, and like I would like to see more adult shows like this, Black Love, all these things. But I would also like to see more like, so Spider-Verse has pushed a lot of animation industries, even Pixar like has pushed a little bit their style. So I would like to see more experimental animation, like animation shows. For those who are interested in animation, go to those. They show a bunch of experimental animation styles. I would like to see that more in like Netflix. And I feel like Netflix is doing a pretty good job of doing that. You had Arcane, which is it's also adult, very interesting style.
Arcane, it was so good.
The 16th highest rated show of all time.
You know, it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, and we just named like the two best in their respective worlds. Into the Spider-Verse is the best superhero movie ever, in addition to being the best animated movie ever. And then Arcane is like the best television animated show ever.
And
so
it has so much depth. Like that's the thing for me, is that even though Arcane has a lot of action, the story, the depth, the fact that they're in danger, like I believe the stakes. That's what it didn't have any stakes. Mm-hmm. And that was the problem for me, is that it was just a really pretty film with very low level stakes.
Yeah. It started off as a series though, so each episode was 15 minutes. So there were 6 shorts, and they compiled it into one. Thank God they did that. Yeah. But yeah, I think it could have done with more time per episode. Mm-hmm. Hopefully it gets renewed and they get more time. But he has a whole host of characters in there you got to pay top dollar to, because all of them on Kanye's label. We're not sure where that label's going at this moment.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Tiana Taylor. He had 070 Shake, Kid Cudi. Kid Cudi basically brought everybody on Kanye's label into this show.
I will say something.
They don't like each other. Oh, go ahead, Captain.
I do like when people were telling their stories about their love life, the style changed. Even though, like, I think some parts, like the anime part, was a little like rough looking, but the everything.
Thank you for bringing that up. I loved Karina and her husband's story in the ninja restaurant. I love that style because it looked like a traditional anime. It looked like it had the anime style of like Avatar: The Last Airbender, just in the way that they were drawn. They were even drawn different. Like I thought that was really clever.
Yeah, like the perspective style changing. I thought was cool. I'd like to see more of that, like pushing it more, because I still feel like it was very like, okay, small. I mean, again, they don't have the budget like Spider-Verse has, so they have to cut corners. I think that's the same reason why the frame rate was cut to a certain degree. Budget. It sounds like there was some sort of budgetary reason.
Yeah.
Kenya Burris said that this is actually like the first time this animation style has been used, and they actually own like the patent
to it. Yeah.
To this animation style. That's what Kenya Burris said. He was on, I think it was the Breakfast Club this week, and he talked about them actually owning the animation, this type of animation style.
Yeah, the stop motion slack style.
I don't know if that's good or bad, but you know, and I'm interested to see, and I would like to see, it pushed further, just more black creators being creative. So I'm gonna keep my rating the same as 4 mil, and I'll turn it over to you, Courtney.
I thought you gave it a full binge out.
Full binge out. Yeah, full binge out. I'm sorry about that. I'm gonna keep mine as a full binge out, and I'm gonna turn it over to you, Courtney. How do you want to re-rate it?
I think I'm gonna stay at a full meal just because there were some really comedic moments. And I do think it was visually very charming. I liked the look of it, and I did like seeing the black love. I think I just wanted more depth. It's like you have this opportunity where you've created these potentially great characters, and I just want you to go all the way. Give them this they're just desserts, so to speak. Like it bring me in the same way. Like I was invested in Spider-Verse and Miles Morales and his entire family, like his mom, his dad, everybody, his dad in the car, like, you gonna talk to me, you know what I mean? Like I was invested, and I just wanted to be, I guess the bar was set high, and they set their own bar because it looks so vibrantly beautiful. I had expectations, and I just wanted it to be deeper. So I am going to stay at a full, I can't say it was a full binge out just because it did take me a while to finish those episodes, just because, but I will stay there just because the potential.
That's going to keep us at 4 mil for the overall score. Chuck, you got anything to say before we head out, sir?
Oh, no, man. Excited for next week's episode.
Okay. Catherine, do you have anything to say before we head out?
Fun. I enjoyed it. Sorry, I said this in the most monotone way, but no, I really.
They're fun. They're okay.
I really enjoyed this.
BingeWorthy's all right.
No. I like it. I like it. Sorry, I love having to say biscuit stuff too. But
yeah,
She's
you
like,
can come
"It's
back with your
biscuits."
biscuits. You can bring your biscuits again back next time.
Yeah.
Cool. Courtney, ma'am, do you have anything to say before we head out?
Give us more. Like I liked seeing black people on the screen.
Yes.
I liked seeing that. So give us more and raise our real estate, because we're worthy of a great we're worthy of the great story that I know that especially Kenya Barris is capable of. You know what I mean? So with that, I'm gonna say geek out and good night.
Okay, Toon Girl, thank you. You said glad I popped in. Thank y'all. We appreciate you for joining us tonight.
Yeah.
Awesome. Join us next week. Next week we're going to be doing She-Hulk. Instead of Wednesday night, though, we're going to be Thursday night, because the last episode for She-Hulk premieres Thursday. So we'll be the first people, or one of the first people, to review the series in its entirety. And Catherine, you will have an open invitation to come back if you want to join us.
So wait, next week?
Next Thursday.
Next Thursday.
That should be good. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. We would love to have you back. The Geekish Network, we are a network for people of color. You know, we have people in front of the camera, behind the camera. We've got techs, writers, actors, content providers. We create content for people who look like you. So please support us. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to like us on Facebook, and also we're on Twitch too, so we're there. Again, we're going to be back next week. We're going to be doing She-Hulk. So until then, as Courtney says, same geek time. No, same geek channel, different geek time. We'll see you next week, Thursday. Bye, everybody.
Good night. Happy Odin's Day.
Happy Odin's Day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Woden's Day.
Mhm.